Wow, guys, I don't know if you know, but Kamala Harris came out with some economic plans that she had, and Gutfeld didn't agree. So we're gonna get right to it, guys. Check this out.
Called price gouging. I mean, the crazy part of it is that it's about supply and demand, Jessica. And Republican and Democrat economists agree that, price gouging is something that generally doesn't end up very well.
Yeah.
But she was, and Kamala talks about her being the attorney general, and I prosecuted these cases. Why? And the reason she's alleging it, she wants a federal ban is because it's a price gouging. It's all prosecuted by the states. Why didn't she call the individual attorneys general together and say, she's been there 3.5 years. Let's get together and deal with this price gouging. All of you, for each of your states, the White House will help you price gouge and find out who should be prosecuted. But no, she waits until now.
Well, I actually think that's a great idea.
So, that just started off. Actually, just a great idea. Imagine trying to get people to vote for you for problems that you should have fixed while you were in office for 4 years. What do you think people are thinking right now? Let's let's get back to it.
And I hope that Kamala is watching. We have read that she likes the show, and I hope that she takes that advice. I think part of the reason that this is coming right now is actually twofold. So one, this is the Kamala Harris top of the ticket. This is something that's a priority for her. She had a markedly different tone in discussing these issues than President Biden did. I never heard President Biden acknowledge that bread is up 50%, for instance. She's obviously fashioning herself differently in that way. The second part of this is it was just in March that the FTC report, it was called Feeding America in Time of Crisis, came out. And they actually identified the fact that companies like Walmart, like Kroger, like Tyson were reaping profits so far above the supply chain problems that they had to call it out. And that's what led to this policy coming into being. So that's what she's going from. And I would also say that you could look at this as antitrust enforcement rather than price controls. And she hasn't been specific about that difference. And if it is antitrust enforcement, that's something that's very in line with who Kamala Harris is and who she has been throughout her career. Net, I think that this was an incredibly good day for Kamala. She was able to introduce herself to the American public in a way that she hadn't before.
So, I'm not gonna keep pausing it, guys, but I used to think it was a religion and politics that divided, the country. But as I listen to her speak and I listen to her trying to defend the stuff that Kamala Harris is doing, I'm gonna say this, but I think we're divided by intelligence because there is no way where she basically wants to hand out money. You think that's gonna fix the issues that we're going through? Man, it's actually pretty sad, man. We have to go out and vote because if we don't, man, bread's up 50% right now. Bread's gonna be up 100 million% by the time Kamala's done. Let's keep going.
And you take the contrast of yesterday. So you had President Trump, someone who grew up a millionaire, became a billionaire, standing in front of his golf club, ranting and raving about everything, lying about everything from, GDP rates to poverty rates to energy production, et cetera. And then you have Kamala Harris, someone who's talking about her middle class upbringing, the fact that her family rented throughout their lives, so she knows what it means for people out there who can't get on the property ladder, someone who worked at McDonald's through college. You couldn't have the starker juxtaposition between these two candidates. And then on top of it, she's saying to people, I feel your pain. I know how much things cost. You know what I want to do? I want to build 3 million new housing units. You know what I want to do? I want to cap prescription drug prices for everyone, not just Medicare recipients. I mean, yesterday, we didn't get to talk about it because of the Trump press conference, but because Medicare is negotiating drug prices, seniors will get to keep $6 billion of their dollars. That's $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs that will be saved because of the policies from the Biden-Harris administration. And that's what today is about regular people getting to keep more of their money.
Greg, antitrust enforcement that Jessica talks about is really not the issue if we're talking about many different supermarkets, many different meat markets. Competition is the essence of capitalism. We're not dealing with a monopoly.
Well, first, I want to point out something Jessica said.
Before Greg starts talking, I want to say this. Why is no one thinking about the obvious? Vote me into office and I'll fix everything. You're already in office and you're not fixing anything. You're just pouring gas into the fire. That's all you're doing. You're just causing more and more problems. You're stockpiling them at this point. No one's thinking about the obvious, and it makes no sense to me. Man, let's hear what Greg got to say, man, because that's what we're really waiting on. Let's hear what he has to say.
That Trump began as a millionaire and now he's a billionaire. I think that makes him an expert in this. I would rather listen to somebody who began as a millionaire and is now a billionaire than somebody who doesn't have a damn clue about economics. I've never heard a candidate today more unsure of themselves on a topic than Kamala Harris. I think she's been burdened by the weight of expectations put on her by the media. I've never seen a better campaign ad for Trump. She's campaigning better for Trump than Trump is. First, let's talk about the down payment issue on the House. A lot of this stuff is infuriating, because they're treating the American public like idiots. She makes a proposal that is only half an equation. The first half is, here's a nice thing for you. The second half is missing, who pays for it? You saw this with student loan theft, described as forgiveness. Who paid for it? You paid for it. You see with immigration policy, who's footing the billions and all that free stuff? You're paying for it. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. And the sooner or later you figure that out, the better off you're going to be. And that's directed at Democrats who don't understand that these policies are going to sink this country. You know, if you cap prices, you increase scarcity by diminishing competition. People can call her a communist, but you gotta explain this, because the media won't ask the follow-up questions. How do you...
Hey, anybody that is a Democrat, show them this clip, 30 seconds of it, and if they still want to vote blue, man, hey, you already know what to do. We're gonna go back 10 seconds though. We have to hear this.
Scarcity by diminishing competition. People can call her a communist, but you gotta explain this, because the media won't ask the follow-up questions. How do you plan on doing this? Please give me an example. Give me an example where industries got together in a room and decided to drastically increase prices. That doesn't exist. The only example they'll have is, oh, you know, a bodega raised prices on umbrellas when it rained. That's all they got. There is no payoff for industries to artificially inflate their prices, because the people who drive the prices are the consumers. That is, if you want to understand supply and demand, it's the consumers who drive the prices. There is absolutely no debate on this. There is not a single economist who would agree that this is the right thing to do. We can go and talk about Eastern Bloc countries. You can look at the cheap, terrible cars that they made and the appliances they made, but you already know that story. So how do you keep a debate alive if we know this is a fraudulent idea? You don't talk to economists. You listen to politicians or talking heads like me who have to do the research, because I'm sick and tired of hearing people pretend like they know what they're talking about on TV, but they don't. So you won't see economists on other shows, other networks asking these questions. Like, can you give me an example of how this is done? What are the major industries? What is the right price? What is too high? What is too low? Can the government set prices based on not having a knowledge of an industry? What do you mean exactly by price gouging? How is that done beyond unique exceptions? Price gouging is a weak phrase directed at weaker minds.
Can I just add?
Bravo. Go ahead. Kamala has no time to answer pesky questions about her radical record, because she's too busy grilling Tim Walz about his white guy.
Wait a minute, you guys. Wait a minute. Listen to Jessica Tarlov.
Beyond unique exceptions. Price gouging is a weak phrase directed at weaker minds.
Can I just add?
Bravo. Go ahead. Kamala has no time to answer pesky questions about her radical record, because she's...
Oh my God, guys, that's the end of the video. I'm about to chop it up. Give me 1 second. Let me get this off of here. Wow, guys, it's starting to feel like these people that are voting for Kamala can't tell time. It's been 4 years. She hasn't done anything, and people are still living check to check, and they want to blame that on Trump. How is that Trump's fault? I really want to know what you guys think. How can you blame that on Trump? Let me know what you guys think about the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.